Alhamdulillah, wa salatu salam ala Rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. May Allah reward you the best and accept from us and grant us beneficial knowledge. Make us among those who listen, understand, believe and practice. We have to go through 4 presentations and I'll try quickly to go through all of them. And then later maybe I will print them out and give you a copy later. So the first presentation is giving your first speech. Second one is selecting topic. Third one is art of khutbah. And fourth one, clarity. So therefore, let's go with the first one. To develop your first speech or talk, first of all you have to think of the limitation of the time. And within that, you select how much point you can present. And then organize them into 3 parts. Introduction, body, conclusion. Alright? So, very simple. You have to know the time, which is your limit. And then select how many points you can squeeze in that time. And then you organize your speech in 3 parts, and this is, we are going to practice it forever, and we are going to put actually on the website kind of form where you as a khatib fill up that form on the website. So my topic was this, the introduction was this, the body was this, the main point, just like I gave you the example, and the conclusion is this. Second point is rehearse first speech. Rehearse the speech out loud, as some brother said. It's not just read it silently. I mean, here in front of me, and I don't move my mouth. That's not going to work. Khutbah need to be read as you are really giving the khutbah. And then ask people to listen to you and get constructive feedback. And that's what we're going to do. You select one, you're going to talk to us, and then we'll give you feedback. And you're going to practice that in larger audience between Maghrib and Isha, inshallah. And you have to time your speech. Now, focus your speech to fit the time limit. Select limited number of points and develop them clearly. Organize your speech, as we said. Oh, this is second, same thing. Okay. We're going backward. Speaking in public. Organizing thought logically. This is the most difficult one, which is we call it mental map. If the mental map is clear, you will do excellent. If the map is not clear in your mind, you're going to be basically struggling, trying to bring this and go forth and back and repeat things, and sometimes what is next coming, or you fill up with things that are unrelated. So thoughts logically means I have a roadmap clear about the thoughts, which one was first, second, third, and how I'm going to conclude. Tailor the message to the audience that you have heard it the whole day. Telling the story for maximum impact. Now, telling the story is not easy, but it is the most powerful means to impact your audience. People will listen to the story more than logic. Logic is difficult. Strain the brain, people don't want to listen to it. And that's why most of the time, if the topic is deep and you discuss something so intellectually deep, people just take a break and leave you alone. Adapting to listeners' feedback. Wherever you get feedback, you need, that's how we are. I don't know why we don't practice this. We need to get feedbacks all the time from the people, and from that, put it in practice. Whatever they put to you as a valuable point, we need to change it into practice. Public speaking is more highly structured, as we said. You have an introduction, and then you have a body, and you have a conclusion. It can require more formal language. You cannot talk street language on the khutbah or in speech. Public speaking requires different method of delivery. Depends on. All right. Now, the communication process are the following: speaker, message, channel, listener, feedback, interference or noise, situation. These are critical points to develop more effective speech. We'll go through each one of them quickly. Speaker, the person who is presenting an oral message to listeners, which is very simple, straightforward. Message, whatever speakers communicate to someone else. Channel, the means by which message is communicated, which is speech or khutbah. Listener, person who receives the speaker's message. Frame of reference. Here, what I want you to think deep and be with me. The sum, or full definition that one, and then we'll see what is the importance of that. The sum of person knowledge, experience, goals, values, attitude. We got to memorize them. Frame of reference. And this is going to go for the speaker, for the listeners. And this is the problem between the speakers and the listeners, because each one has his own frame of reference, his or her. So, frame of reference is the sum of person knowledge. How much knowledge you have. Experience, goal in life, values, and attitude. Why are we talking about this? Everything speaker says is filtered through a listener frame of reference. Alright? So no matter how strong and good and powerful and clear to you, is going to be filtered through the listener's knowledge. They are ignorant, they might understand differently. They are knowledgeable, they are specialists, if they are advanced than you. And the second one, their experience, their goals in life, their values, their attitude when they come. So that is why we get, especially khutbah, when you say diversity, you have all these frame of references and you have to conquer them. Where when they filter, it's still they're going to get some of the message. But when you filter, what does it mean filtering?
You're blocking part of it.
Yeah, part of your message and speech is going to be blocked by some of these. By their attitude or experience or values. So you as a khatib, you have the challenge to conquer every single frame of reference to your audience, and there are many. Each one of us has his own frame of reference. No two people can have exactly the same frame of reference. So what are you going to do? No two people. And that's why, definitely, so what is going to create a big gap between the message and the goal of the speakers and whatever being taken? Big gap. No matter what you do, that gap will be there. Okay? Because, again, because of the knowledge, because of the experience, because of the goals, because of the different values and different attitudes. The messages, usually non-verbal, sent from listener to speakers. Now, that's why we say eye contact. When you stand up there are a lot of messages comes to you. Say last Friday when I was giving the khutbah and went far, the second khutbah, I see somebody in their eyes glaring and they are basically sending me a message of anger. I see it. And actually by the end of the khutbah they went and complained. So through all the whole talk, I am serious about the subject. They are only concerned about it's too long. Forget it. And they are ready to fight and make an issue and dictate what their, dictate some of these values or their goals or their attitude on the rest of the ummah. When they chat, when they text, when they go to WhatsApp, when they go to Facebook, when watch TV, when go to the market, it's not too long. Never they say too long. But when it is khutbah, it is too long. anything, they never thought of wasting time. Never, they sit over there for an hour. Or you see them on their phone. That's not too long. But you come to the khutbah, which you are in salah. And it is needed. I'm not advocating that you just keep talking forever. But sometimes you cannot stop. You have to come to the message. Okay. Anything that impedes, now we go to the interference or noise. Anything that impedes the communication of a message, that's basically interference or noise. Situation, the time and place in which speech communication occurs, and that is factor also will basically, the situation will either accelerate or basically impede the communication. Communication, basically you are trying to send a message, you are hoping, doing your best that is going to be heard, is going to be taken, but you have all these barriers in front of you. And here the pictures how they sit. So look at those determinant, those are affecting the end of the message. The situations of the speaker and the listener. The message, the channel, and the feedback and the interference. All of these basically determining how message is going to be reached. Stage fright, that's we have heard about it. An anxiety over the prospect of giving a speech in front of an audience. This is something it's gonna happen for everybody, and especially khutbah, it will never go away. Any public speech, it will be reduced. And if you are a public speaker, you are used to it, these are few people, then you will enjoy it. You will get there, especially if you do the same speech, okay? Say you are training, and this topic, you go and talk to the people about it over and over and over. Of khutbah, say I have done it maybe 20 times. I enjoy it at that level. I don't have fear, I don't have an anxiety. Everything is clear to me. I have done it 20 times. I know where to stop, what to say, where to raise your voice. So I enjoy it. That's the only time. But other than that, if it is new situation, new topic, new conditions, always there is a strong anxiety. Nervousness. Your body is responding by producing extra adrenaline, whatever hormone released into the bloodstream in response to the physical or mental stress. That's what's nervousness. And it can be if you are good speakers, but you come to a point you're stuck, or you lost thought, or you didn't have notes, or something bothers you, message came to you from the audience, bothers you, you get nervous in the middle of the khutbah. Reducing this anxiety, okay, number one, acquire speaking experience. So if you experience, it will go away gradually. The second one, prepare. So as I said, if there is khutbah that I have been given all the time, for many times, I really don't have to worry about anything. Actually, I think how to make it better, to add, to change the style, to basically enhance and enforce some ideas. But these are few. You cannot have that confidence all your life. Think positively, that is a key point. Basically, when you stand up there, you think only negatively that, and especially you see messages from people, somebody asleep, somebody late, somebody with their phone, somebody talking to next them, somebody standing outside waiting for you to finish. All these messages affect you. Okay, well, why I'm killing myself, but they care less. They're standing outside in the hallway or outdoor just looking, oh, khutbah is not finished, oh, khutbah is not finished. I'm serious, and I see them every Friday. Use the power of visualizations. Now, this one, the only way, our body language, that's how we visualize. We talk with our hands and move, and maybe examples and pauses. But one day we will use the basically we will use the TV there and have basically some point or something. There are masjids in San Antonio.
PowerPoint.
They have 6 screens on the first line and screen everywhere. And whenever comes a point or an ayah or verse, just hit a key and it display the verse, for example, or hadith in all the screens. So people look to the screens and forget about the khatib.
I was about to I was exactly thinking the same thing, that people are just going to look at the presentation
Right.
and not the presenter.
Then we'll come to this. Is it good or bad? We'll come to it in a minute. Know that most nervousness is not visible. Don't expect perfection. Okay. What is going to really make you feel okay? You are sincere, you did your best, and you will never be one day perfect. So accept your best. That's it, and you move on. Control nervousness that help organize the speakers for her or his presentation. If you can control your nervousness, and most of the time you can, and if you basically have little khushu' or connection to Allah, you ask Allah for. You remember the prayers of Musa? That will help you in any speech. What Musa said? Exactly. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Oh Allah, make some of them their heart is open and they are in my sight. He talk about Harun, but here you talk about your audience. Ya Allah, open their heart. Some of them really in my sight, and they are open heart and they are listening. So that is what you need. Now here one of these visualizations is the mental imaging, which as a speaker vividly you remember every theme and what goes under each one of them. Then you will never be nervous, really. If you have that mental image vividly, you know the topic, the title, the points, the subpoint, the sub discussion, the examples, the quote, then you will do it basically very easily. Critical thinking, focused, organized thinking. Okay, and this is what people don't like. The audience, especially khutbah. If you are in a university, all of them say student in the same class, so they have background. They like this focused, organized thinking. But khutbah, people hated this. It's not they don't like it, they hate it. If it is really focused and organized thinking, they don't like. They don't want to use their brain actually. They have stress from work and life and everything, and they come to the masjid. If there is emotional appeal, they will relax and feel comfortable. But if it is really critical thinking, it's really a battle between you and them that you can bring them with you. About such things, that's a logical relationship among ideas. The soundness of evidence, that's what we definition of critical thinking. Focused, organized thinking. About the logical relationship among ideas. The soundness of evidence is not the evidence, how they sound and how they enhance or enforce or confuse the evidence, and the differences between fact and opinion. Now, many khatibs basically they do not distinguish between fact and opinions, and that is a problem. People don't like it, and it is not honesty. You get, if it is fact, say hadith, authentic hadith, then that's authentic hadith. It is weak hadith or some opinion of some scholars or your own opinion. It got to be clear to the people, this is just an opinion, not fact. But many speakers, they bring their opinion as fact, as something that people has to take and believe and carry on. Now here is the other big problem. Ethnocentrism, the belief that one own group or culture is superior to all other group and cultures. And this is exist everywhere. And that's why some people say, well, in Shafi'i they don't do that. Or some Hanafi they don't do that. Or say, in my sheikh didn't do that. Or my group. And this is a big problem in the Muslim community because you have this ethnicity is so diverse and people attach to it. And their perception is basically, it is standard. And by it, they measure everything else. And that is fine, but sometimes if they believe it is superior. We one time in Hajj, and basically there was discussion between Hanafi and Shafi'i, and then that sheikh, really big sheikh, he said Shafi'i is basically ignorant. That's it. Oh, we were in Hajj. I mean, I was shocked, and I love the group. I said, I can't believe someone will say this. This is how much they believe it is superior. That's it. The Hanafi is superior to all other madhab. And their measures what? Their measures the followers. The greatest followers is Hanafi. Oh, Shafi'i is very limited. Okay, so then that's it. That's the superiority. It's senseless, basically. It's wrong. Okay, we finished that one. Let's go to the next one. We are not going to discuss those two together, then we'll discuss them. Selecting the topic, and this is, you have heard some, but here we'll give you some practical things. Okay. Topic is the subject, we're going to do some definitions. And one of the good ideas is brainstorming. A method of generating ideas for speech. Topics by free associations of words and ideas. Anybody can elaborate on this one? Brainstorming is help you to select the subject of the khutbah. But he said a method of generating ideas for speech, topics, by free associations of words and ideas. Does it make sense to you? Huh?
It does, but it's really, you need to basically be open about reading different things, or maybe going over the Quran, selecting ideas, and come up with your own maybe topics. I mean, it seems like it's not focused.
Huh?
Not constrained by your own thought process.
Right. Okay. Say we talk about the people of the Ashab al-Yamin, right? And somebody said, okay, what is the definition of Ashab al-Yamin?
People on the right.
Okay. But if you go to the Quran, there is a definition somewhere else. Say when you read Surah La Uqsimu bihadha al-balad, by the end of it, Allah said, these are the people of the right. فلا اقتحم العقبة وما أدراك ما العقبة فك رقبة أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة يتيما ذا مقربة أو مسكينا ذا متربة ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة أولئك أصحاب الميمنة. He said these are the people of the right. So this is how you connect ideas. You bring that verse, which is Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Allah said, إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة وكنتم فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة. And over there in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Allah just explained what they are going to get, but it never said who are they. So if you do this, you can see the connection between that idea and that idea by that verse and that verse. It's actually complement one another. In Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Allah just said what they are going to face, how they are going to be treated, what's going to happen in Jannah, but He said just Ashab al-Maymanah. Here, and there are some other places, Allah has given total, complete definition. These are the people of the right. So that's what we mean. So now this is free association between the ideas. Quran didn't say that. Sunnah, Hadith, scholar, it's you think critically, brainstorm, and once you bring this verse here and this verse, oh, they are related. They are actually, this is what is this.
is this brainstorming? This is research. I mean, this is you're basically projecting certain thoughts.
No, you put brainstorm, you know what is it? You
I know.
list all ideas, and what is it the point? To find associations and relationship among them. Otherwise, ideas is just ideas. I mean, you can have 125 ideas, and you can't. If you cannot see association and relationship between this idea, then you are not going to find a topic, and that's when the subject will be fragmented. Okay. Now every speech has general purpose and specific purpose. So the broad goal of the speech is the general. The specific purpose, and we'll give example in a minute. A specific purpose, a statement. And it is what? A single infinitive phrase that state precisely what a speaker hopes to accomplish in his or her speech. Maybe here difficult, let's take examples. Okay. It's a single phrase, not a sentence, and it is infinitive. Infinitive, you know, anybody knows what is infinitive in English? Has to start with two.
Yeah. In order. Yeah.
Two or in order. Two. So that's infinitive, means it got to be a verb. To learn, to practice, to move, to believe. That's infinitive. It's or in order. So a single infinitive phrase that states precisely what speaker hopes to accomplish. And we'll give examples. Guidelines for the specific purpose statement. Write as a full infinitive phrase. Express as a statement, not as a question. Avoid figurative language, sophisticated one. Limit to one distinct idea. Avoid being too vague or general. We'll take exercise. Here you look to the exercise. Say somebody wants to talk about Islamic calendar. So you can say, I'm going to talk about Islamic calendar. That's ineffective. Say, to inform my audience about the 4 major kind of calendars used in the worldwide. So that is the only way effective. So this is not a sentence, it is a phrase. And it starts with 2. The purpose or the goal is to inform, to educate, to enlighten, to shed light, to enhance, to change. Basically, it has to start with this. But it is not a sentence. To inform my audience, or the audience, about the 4 major kind of calendars used in the world today. Now, if you are going to do Islamic calendars, what are you going to do? Can you change this into Islamic calendar? You're going to talk about Islamic calendar, but we want from you effective phrase to specify the purpose statement.
To explain the source of Islamic calendar.
Okay? To explain is powerful and good. To explain how Islamic calendar came to exist and what is the significance of it. But he said you just hold to one idea. So one time to explain. Sometimes, or another statement where the significant.
So
Or
also to explain the 5 events of Islamic calendar. But this is too many. So you
right.
go back.
You get to go only to one. Okay, let's take another example. Is the U.S. space program necessary? And he said, never ever start khutbah with questions. It got to be a phrase. Positive, no question. Because questions, questions, what is the problem with questions? If the title is a question, what's the problem? The problem, frame of reference of the people. Everybody will take that question and answer it according to their frame of reference. And we'll have all different answers. So don't use it like he said, to persuade my audience that the U.S. space program provide many important benefits to people here on Earth. That's effective. Okay? Other example. To inform my audience that yoga is extremely cool. So, to inform my audience how yoga can improve their health. What's the difference?
Common.
One's concrete, more measurable.
Yeah.
other than,
I mean, I get something in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one he said, extremely cool. This is very powerful word, but nobody's gonna buy it. It's just funny. But when you say improve your health, then he will think about it and he will listen. Next one. Ineffective. To persuade my audience to become literacy tutors and to donate time to Habitat for Humanity. What's wrong with this?
Too many purposes.
Yes, and you cannot do that. All right? So, the best way, he said, to persuade my audience to become literacy tutors or to persuade my audience to donate time for Habitat for Humanity. You cannot have and. Basically, that's what we learn. You cannot have and. Next, last example. To inform my audience about the Civil War. That's not good. To inform my audience about the role of African American soldiers in the Civil War. Now, why? Because why? What is wrong with the first one? Yeah, Civil War. What part of it? What I mean, we're gonna spend a year to study it. Now come to the specific ones. That's just what was the role of African American in this war. Okay, so questions to ask about your specific purpose. 3 questions. Does my purpose meet the assignment? Means this khutbah. I may say I'm in Hajj or I'm in Ramadan or I'm going already the occasion situation. So does it meet that purpose, that assignment? Can I accomplish my purpose in the time allotted? And is the purpose relevant to my audience? These 3 questions you cannot, how to refine your statement, you have to have these questions. Number, is the purpose too trivial for my audience? Is the purpose too technical for my audience? Now, so we said there is general purpose and there is a statement purpose. And we learned statement purpose to be infinitive and it got to be one idea and no and also it got to be specific. Now there is another central idea for the whole khutbah. There is one central idea, which is that you are going to put the title into it. One sentence, statement that sum up or encapsulate the major ideas of the speech. For example, well, let's get guidelines for the central idea. Express as a full sentence. Do not express as a questions. Avoid vague, complicated language. Do not also overload in general. Let's take examples. This is something important, the central idea of the speech. So in effective, paying college athletes a salary is good idea. They said the more effective because college athletes in revenue producing sport such as football, basketball generate millions of dollars in revenue for their schools. The NCAA should allow such athletes to receive $250 monthly salary as part of their scholarship. So it's complete convincing. Well, it has logic into it. Okay, uses of the laser. The laser is a highly versatile device with important uses in medicine, industry, art, and communications. Okay. We are talking about central idea. How does indoor soccer differ from outdoor soccer? That's a question which is not good. You can say that's the central idea. Play on a smaller enclosed field that resembles a hockey rink with artificial turf. Indoor soccer involves faster action, more scoring, and different strategy than outdoor soccer. Okay. It's basically the summary of the core idea that you want people to go with. Mexico's Yucatan, it's a city. Peninsula is an awesome place for vacation. That's not good. Mexican Yucatan Peninsula has many attractions of vacationers, including a warm climate, excellent food, and extensive main ruins. Okay, so that is the structure. That's what we need to cover. General purpose, specific purpose, central idea. And it got to be in that sequence. Which is basically the central idea is the summary, the conclusion, the things that you want people to take home. Main point now, so the first major, for example, here see how the sequence, did you see this? General purpose, specific purpose, and central idea. Here example. The first major race in alpine skiing is the downhill. You know the skiing, you know, the three kinds of skiing, you know?
It's Kansas.
Okay. Okay. Now, the second major race in alpine skiing is the slalom. The third one, you can read it.
Oh, the third major race in alpine skiing is a giant slalom. Wait,
You don't know any of this?
Slalom.
Oh, okay. Well, then, if you don't know, we don't have to worry about it. All right. We finished second one. Let's go to the third one. We are going to art of khutbah now, the most difficult one. Okay. Number one. I want you to read now.
Okay. From the top.
Yep.
Albert Mehrabian, a communication expert, estimates that that a speaker's words account for 7% of his or her effect on the audience. 2, significantly 55% of a speaker's effectiveness comes from his or her visual impact, which is a product of the speaker's overall appearance, facial expression, and body language. And 3, a speaker's voice accounts for 38% of his or her effectiveness.
Okay. I'll let you think about it. So the text, though it's so good, is not going to do that much. And if you only read it, forget about the khutbah. Really. If no matter how many they give you a khutbah, if you get up and read it, basically nobody will get anything out of it. And so the 55% come from the appearance, facial expression, body language. And then 38, the voice, and we'll come to talk about the voice. Alright, that is just fact to put the introduction. So the khatib need to do more than just stand and read a sermon if he is to get his message across effectively and compel people to change. Has to do more. The best written, go ahead.
The best written speeches can prove ineffective if speakers do not deliver them with enthusiasm and dynamism. Ironically, audiences can be very moved by speeches that lack content and originality but are performed well.
What's it ironically?
Ironically means you wouldn't expect it, but if you have a speech that has bad content, but if they present it well, people will be more effective.
Okay.
Everything about the khatib can add to or subtract from his effectiveness and the congregation's acceptance of him.
That's why you need to make highlights. Add or subtract. Effectiveness and the congregation acceptance of him. Everything about khatib, and we're going to talk about everything in a minute. Okay?
His credibility.
Number one, credibility. One of these is going to add or subtract credibility. Go ahead. Read it all.
And perceived knowledge is essential. His appearance can be a source of repulsion or attraction.
Okay, so we got credibility and we get appearance. Let's go next.
The tone of his
Third, The tone.
The tone of his voice, posture, and eye contact can radiate sincerity and engendering trust from the audience, or it can radiate insincerity and engender distrust.
Okay, this can add or subtract. Basically, on the tone of the face, there are people who just get offended. One time we were in Masjid al-Nur, and Sheikh Abdurrahman Basir was giving khutbah, and he's basically, when he speaks, he fights. But he was in the member and somebody there, most of the time he was looking at him. That jumped and said, "Why you are shouting at me?" In the khutbah. We were sitting in the masjid. I'm serious. Because I think he was looking focused on his paper. But that received it as he just looking at him all the time. And was really loud. He stood up in front of all of us, the hundred sitting in the Jumu'ah khutbah. "Why you are shouting at me like that?" Sheikh Ahmed, elect? Okay, 9, 10, okay.
To be effective, the Khatib cannot afford distractions and must use every opportunity to achieve his objective. The following are the most important factors that can work for or against the speaker.
Okay. Go ahead.
Credibility. Who is this man?
Okay, that's a good, okay, go ahead. They're going to sell that.
Announcing the name of the Khatib in advance or posting it on a bulletin board along with a brief biography will help establish the Khatib's credibility. The Khatib's credibility comes from his conduct and knowledge.
Come from?
Conduct and knowledge.
Credibility, how much knowledge that you can present, and conduct. Otherwise, who's this man on the member? If that you are used to, then it's not a problem. Okay, we'll say Michael is gonna give khutbah. Khalas, everybody already has a profile in their head. Who is that khatib? But somebody coming from outside. Okay, so number 1, credibility. Number 2,
Appearance. As mentioned earlier in this presentation, 55% of the speaker's effectiveness comes from his visual impact on the audience. Moreover, a study published in the Royal Bank of Canada's monthly letter titled "The Act of Listening" shows that humans collect information through their senses in the following proportions: 88% by sight, 8% by hearing, 3.5% by smell, 1.5% by touch, and 1% by taste.
What do you mean by taste?
there are people specialists on tasting. And there are people who design these recipes. They go to a show and bring those experts in tasting and give them these samples to taste and judge, and they approve that recipe or they don't.
I mean, it means that of all the information you take in, only 1% of it is from tasting things.
I was thinking in my head like in the
And the khutbah, what are you going to taste? Imagine the khatib have a spoon and say,
You bring the food to the
It was a good question, yeah. No, we're talking about people, how they collect information. Okay? 88% sight. So if they see you dynamic, enthusiastic, sincere, knowledge, conduct, it will get you far as much as you want. If they see you just like another block standing there and just tied to your paper or your place, or you are shaken, or you are not really living what you are talking, basically it's gone. There is no khutbah. There is no effect. And many times we get to the khutbah and left just as same thing. Okay. Okay.
The appearance of the speaker projects authority and credibility. It is an important element of an effective sermon.
Right. And there are people, this is bringing some issues here. We'll come to it. There are people, they have a special dress before they go to the khatib, to the member, and then they take it and put it inside and they dress their own occasions. And that is not really good, because they want to meet this criteria. But you get to be consistent. Okay, because people can distinguish. Right now he is just acting. That's not authentic. You wear it all the time, and just put it one consistent appearance, and that's the end of it. If you keep trying, as I said, they just see his acting. Sometimes this big robe, and sometimes red, and sometimes the turban, and sometimes this shawl on their neck. Don't think it's gonna fly. This is not true. Who are you? And it will not go to the people. Okay.
But also people, like I know one time I forget my kufi at home, I don't have anything. So then somebody was so bothered by I didn't have it for the khutbah. No, just bothered him. You don't listen to anything because
Yes.
you're missing something. You know?
That is okay. That's a good point. You know, in Hanafi khalas, it's if you didn't have beard and kufi, you shouldn't be even the masjid, not just khatib. Okay, and it is engraved. This is something not beyond. It is so strong, concrete. They will not in some places here. No, they will go and bring a hat and put it in your head if they.
That happened to me all the time.
Yeah.
Train.
They will go, yes, and grab it and put it in your head. I mean,
I've been to massages, they have their own. Once you walk in, they have a collection.
Yes.
Just take one, put it on your head.
yeah. Okay. So, you are following? Go ahead.
Posture and body language. Communication, as we continue to find out, is affected by a number of factors. When prioritizing the importance of each of these factors, we see that posture and body language rank third in importance after credibility and subject matter.
Third. So, credibility and subject matter, the conduct of the khatib or the speaker, then the body language. Okay?
The speaker's posture is a silent language that aids the spoken language in the communication process. For instance, a speaker who rocks back and forth during his delivery exhibits lack of confidence. A speaker who makes offensive gestures will be perceived as arrogant, distasteful, or disrespectful. The audience reads the body language of the speaker from the facial expressions, posture, and hand gestures.
You heard Surah Al-Kahf, those people of the cave. If you listen to them, you learn all the etiquettes and the rules of speaking in public. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has narrated that, and they said, إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى وَرَبَطْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ. So that is who are they. But the first one said, إِذْ قَامُوا. قَامُوا, it means they rised, they stood up. What does that mean?
Become visible.
Visible. So that's why we have member. That's why you have to stand up to give khutbah and sit. You cannot give khutbah sitting. That's why we have stage. That's why we have podium. That's why we have this presentation. This is all part إِذْ قَامُوا, means got to be raised, clear, firm. Everybody sees. Everybody can focus and center. The center of all the eyes and attention. So they could have said it while they were sitting, but Allah said qamu, means made themselves visible, clear to all the people before they address them. That's number one. And then what they say? قاموا فقالوا ربنا رب السماوات والأرض. Our Lord is the Lord of heaven and earth. Now, if you think about this, maybe it's very simple, but it is not. This is powerful logic. Okay? This universe has a Lord. And we are part of this universe. Then the Lord of the universe is our Lord. We cannot have another one because we are not different and separated from this universe. So if you believe you are part